So let's talk about the assignments. First assignment you come up to, obviously, is the check-in. Read what you need to write. Make sure that you actually answer it. What did you learn about the field of technical documents? I've given you plenty of information. So make sure you tell me in detail, what have you learned so far? One sentence really doesn't work for me. Information about teamwork and the discussion board assignment. It's the second time I've done that. Personal evaluation. Okay, if you get on there, you'll see you'll fill out that worksheet. Make sure that you insert it. Use the circle sign with the use the circle with the plus sign. Don't attach. I have 100 and something students a semester. I cannot open over 100 attachments per assignment. So again, once it's in there, make sure that you attach a picture. In fact, it should look like this. When I pull it up, I should automatically see your chart. So go in here, work with it, read through all of these and make sure that you understand what's going on with what leaders do, what roles that you actually fulfill. Read The Serious Fun of Shared Experiences at Work. Read that. It's a really good article. 5 Reasons I Hate Group Projects and Improving Group Dynamics. All of these are meant to help you and kind of teach you what to do. So when you open up this, you'll see 3 questions. By all means, work with each one. Go in here. Read what this is. How well do you know your team members? You're going to post. So reply team 1. And then everybody in team 1 will reply from there. And tell me what you would do for each 3 of these. And work with those. Then go back. Team roles. This is where you're going to actually tell me what roles. How will knowing this help you? How will you learn, what your team member roles fall in? How will that help you with communication? And then review the roles of the teammates. Again, you're going to be working with each team. So one person out of the team, create team 1, and everybody in team 1 respond to this. What roles are you missing? And are these really important roles that need to be filled? And if so, what's going to happen to your team if it's not done? This has nothing to do with the newsletter, but it has everything to do with how you work as a team to get this newsletter done. And then the last one is the actual chart itself. Again, open up the chart. When you get done, either use the snip tool or take a picture of it. And then again, insert it. Don't attach it so that you can see it. And then answer the questions. What did you learn? And go through the discussion board. So going back into here, the next thing you're going to do is an email. Okay? You're going to compose a professional email to me. I am the boss. So you have to address it correctly. So remember, it is formal, not informal. You can't say, hey, yo, dude, this is what I learned. Number 1, first paragraph or 2 need to tell me about your worst group experience. Must be a real experience. You got to tell me what took place. I need to know enough so that I can figure out what happened. Then number 2, next paragraph. Okay. You need to find support and documentation on how it could be prevented. So Google it. How could I prevent this? A team member not doing their work, or one team member doing all the work, or whatever it may have been, because groups have all kinds of issues all the time. So find some support and documentation. Summarize it in your own words, what took place. So in that paragraph, according to article written by, this is what they suggest needs to happen if you experience this within a group. That would cause the group to ultimately fail. To avoid these, again, must be in your own words, but tell me about this article, because as a boss, I'm probably not going to open it up and read it word for word. I'm going to really take you at your summary. So you have to be thorough, but you have to let me know what it is. And then the last paragraph, what do you plan to do to avoid this in the future? As a boss, I need to know that. This took place, this happened. What are you going to do to stop it from happening again? And your group needs to be successful. So 3 to 4 paragraphs. Let me know all that. Make sure you close it out. And after you get done closing it out sincerely or whatever it is you may want to say with your name, then provide me the link to the article. And it could be either the URL, it could be a direct link, however you want to put it in there. Remember, it needs to look professional, so it needs to be underneath everything. Just in case I might want to go look at it, I do have it. You're going to actually send me the email through email. So it has to be through course email. Click on this, create message. 2, find my name. Make sure you give me a subject. Cannot be email assignment. I just cannot express how important a good subject matter is. Tell me what the email's about. Cannot give me something generic because I need to open it and know what I'm getting ready to read. Type it all in. Take a screenshot. Take a picture. It doesn't matter to me what you take. Goes back into this assignment. Attach the picture. That's all I need you to do. I will read all the assignments, all the emails through course email and assign you a grade. But before I can assign you a grade and be able to give you feedback on your email, I need you to post that picture because, again, this is one of those quirks for Blackboard. Module test should be self-explanatory by now. This is a third one you've taken, again, 3 times. You're grand. Make 100 on it, or however many. 40 out of 40, however it is. You can make a perfect score on these tests. By all means, do so. They are helping you, not hurting you. And in the newsletter, let's talk a little bit about the newsletter. You have to cover these 4 topics, not an option. So 4 people out of your group. One needs to cover successful teams, one needs to cover team failures, one needs to cover social networking, and one needs to cover professional networking. I can't tell you the topics you might find underneath them because, again, it depends on your research and what you find. So you can, like for social networking, you can talk about the benefits of social networking versus how social networking can be harmful in your section. You could do both. But you can't pick up on professional networking because it's going to be somebody else's topic. And it depends on what they find in their research. Same with successful or unsuccessful teams. If you have more than 4 members, which most of you should have at this point, I have 5 to 6 in a group, then the extra person needs to pick team building activities that they can report on, exploring team situations or consequences, and learn your strengths and weaknesses in a team, or how social networking can be harmful. Now, the only way they can do number 3 is if they make sure that the person that is doing the original social networking is not going to pick up on how it can be harmful too, and do a compare-contrast. So I would save this one for the absolute last to make sure it's not covered twice, because in your newsletter, it will look really unprofessional if 2 people cover how social networking can be harmful. Okay. Assign a member to find a template, a member to put all the information together, another member to design a newsletter. How's stuff going to sit? Where is it going to go? A member to double check word count and paraphrasing. I am very picky on word count on this. Or paragraph. And make sure that you paragraph. I had students last semester that did not paragraph. It was one long entire paragraph. Nobody wants to read that. Make sure you have paragraphs. And then finally get 2 members to proofread the final copy. And one of those people should turn it in after everybody says, yes, this looks great. And everybody has fixed their work if you have suggestions. Now on this, everybody is responsible for their own work. You do not need to do somebody else's work if they don't do it. So if they don't meet your deadlines, they don't meet your deadlines. And you're setting this up as a team and everybody understands what the deadlines are. So when this is figured out, if that person doesn't get their work in, none of the rest of you are responsible for their work. So if it goes in the newsletter, it will go in with the title. They were supposed to talk about team failures, put their name underneath it, and leave it blank. And don't put anything in there. Just leave it blank because they didn't do their part of the work. You will not be responsible for doing that part of the work at that point in time. I would suggest, like some of you have already started doing Zoom meetings, some kind of form of collaboration like Discord, however you want to figure out I've talked to people, GroupMe. I mean, there's thousands of apps out there right now that you can collaborate on. Remember, two people cannot cover the same topic. So make sure that all four of them up above are covered. It should have an title that covers everything that you're going to talk about. Now, if two people cover the same topic, then nobody gets credit. So keep that in mind. So the next thing you need to know is that you need to have relevant images. Image citations are not necessary. Each person's responsible for their own images. So when you put in, hey, here is my work, make sure that you go in there and say, here's my work, and you post everything. So it's all right there. Images, words, everything. Each one of you has to have 500 words. And I want 500 words, not 490, not 430, not 510, not 520. I want 500. Plus or minus 1 or 2. Get as close to 500 as possible. And then make sure you have names and titles for each section, and the citation should be in that section. There should not be a reference page because newsletters do not have reference pages. It's not academic writing. You should have citations at the very end of your subject that is small in the bottom corner so that everybody knows where you have it. Depending on how your newsletter is designed, it could be at the very bottom of the page. But make sure I know that those citations go with your work. And then you'll have one more check-in for this, and then when it's finished and said and done, one person turns in the newsletter. Make sure that you pick a responsible person that will turn it in. Does everything look fine? Those are going to be your two people that double check everything. I would suggest using Blackboard or Google Drive to work with this. Templates in Google Drive can be funny. So if you're going to pick a template in Google Drive, know that when you get ready to save it as a Word document or a PDF, it might not look exactly the same. Make sure you pick a template that is professional. This is in your when you're in the workplace, not at school. So do not use a school-looking template because you're not at school. And don't use SharePoint because I've had disasters in the last semesters about using SharePoint. Your extra material will show examples of newsletters. One kind of shows you how it looks. It's designed really well, but I took points off because citations were all at the end. And I didn't know what citations went with what persons. And I'm not going to track that down. Then there's another example where the design is okay, but the citations are placed correctly. So neither one of the examples are A quality newsletters, but they are good so that you see the differences that are going on and what is going to work and what's not going to work. I wish you luck on this whole entire module. It's a good learning module. Should set you up for a lot of good material to use in the future, especially when you are in an interview and they ask you what kind of group work you've done. And you can sit there and say, I've done this, and I've done this, and I've done this, and this is the result, and this is what we experienced, and if you had conflicts, how you solve those conflicts, because that's what they're looking for in the workplace. How do you work with people? Do you listen to them? Do you talk to them? So, again, good luck, and I will talk to you again in Module 3.